Ever felt like a fraud, waiting for others to uncover your incompetence despite all evidence of your abilities? Welcome to the world of impostor syndrome, a psychological pattern where individuals doubt their accomplishments and fear being exposed as a fraud. It often manifests as a persistent internalized fear of being discovered as a fraud. You might find yourself thinking, "I just got lucky," or "I'm not as talented as they think I am." These feelings can be distressing, even paralyzing, and they're more common than you might think. Impostor syndrome doesn't discriminate. It affects high achievers and those just starting their journeys alike. It can sneak into the lives of successful entrepreneurs, accomplished artists, and even everyday people who are simply trying to navigate life. This hidden intruder can cast a shadow over success and achievement, making even the most competent individuals feel like they're merely pretending. Recognizing impostor syndrome is the first step to overcoming it. Impostor syndrome isn't just about feeling like a fraud. It's a complex psychological pattern. This intricate web of self-doubt and perceived inadequacy can be more pervasive than one might initially think. To truly understand it, we need to delve deeper into the psychology behind it. Our exploration begins with Dr. Pauline Rose Clance and Dr. Suzanne Imes, two pioneering psychologists who first identified impostor syndrome in the late 70s. Their groundbreaking research unveiled a pattern where high-achieving individuals were unable to internalize their accomplishments, persistently fearing being exposed as a fraud. But what causes this profound self-doubt? The roots of impostor syndrome can often be traced back to childhood experiences. Perhaps you were labeled as the smart one or the talented one in your family or school, and now you feel a constant pressure to live up to those labels. Or perhaps you were always compared to a seemingly perfect sibling or peer, and now you're always comparing yourself to others. Impostor syndrome doesn't discriminate. It affects people across various professions, genders, and ages. It's like an unwelcome guest that overstays its welcome, silently but steadily eroding your self-confidence. This psychological pattern isn't harmless, it's far from it. Impostor syndrome can lead to stress, anxiety, and even depression. It's like a thief in the night, stealing away your peace of mind, leaving you with sleepless nights filled with worry and self-doubt. It can affect your performance at work or school, your relationships, and your overall mental health. It's crucial to understand that impostor syndrome isn't just about feeling inadequate. It's a deep-rooted psychological pattern that can have serious mental health implications if left unchecked. But like any other psychological pattern, it can be recognized, understood, and managed. And the first step towards that is awareness. Impostor syndrome can have serious mental health implications if left unchecked. But remember, recognizing it is the first step towards overcoming it. It's a journey, not a destination, and every step you take towards understanding and managing it is a step towards a healthier, happier you. Impostor syndrome can look different for everyone, with various types and triggers. As identified by Dr. Valerie Young, there are several distinct types of impostor syndrome, each with its unique characteristics. Firstly, we have the perfectionists, who set excessively high goals for themselves, and then feel a crushing sense of failure when they don't meet those standards. Next we have the experts, who feel they need to know every piece of information before they start a project and constantly look for new certifications or training to boost their skills. Then there are the natural geniuses, who judge their competence based on ease and speed rather than their efforts. Fourthly, the soloists feel they must accomplish tasks on their own, and if they need to ask for help, they perceive that as a failure. Lastly, we have the supermen or superwomen, who push themselves to work harder than those around them to prove they're not imposters. These types can be triggered by different situations and environments. So, identifying your imposter syndrome type can help tailor your approach to overcoming it. You're not alone in this fight, and experts have shared several strategies to combat imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome can feel isolating, but it's crucial to remember that many people, even some of the most successful, struggle with it. It's a worldwide phenomenon, and recognizing this is the first step towards overcoming it. Now let's delve into some expert advice on how to tackle this phantom. Psychologists often stress the importance of acknowledging your feelings. It's okay to feel like an imposter sometimes, we all do. But here's the catch. You must separate these feelings from fact. Just because you might feel like a fraud doesn't mean you are one. It's merely a feeling, not a factual statement about your worth or capabilities. Another strategy is to develop a healthy response to failure and mistake-making. Mistakes are not proof of imposture, they are proof of your humanity. They're an opportunity for growth, not a sign of incompetence. Remember, even the most accomplished individuals have faced failure. So instead of viewing mistakes as evidence of being an imposter, see them as stepping stones on your path to success. Additionally, psychologists recommend creating a reality check system. This system could involve writing down your achievements and revisiting them when self-doubt creeps in. It could also involve seeking feedback from others, not for validation, but for a balanced view of your abilities. Lastly, talk about it. Share your feelings with a trusted friend, mentor, or mental health professional. You'd be surprised how many people can relate to your experiences. By bringing these feelings into the open, you can begin to dismantle the power they hold over you. Remember, overcoming imposter syndrome isn't a solitary battle. You have a whole arsenal of strategies at your disposal and a world of people who understand and support your fight. Overcoming imposter syndrome isn't about eliminating self-doubt, but learning to move forward despite it. Understanding imposter syndrome can be a powerful tool in overcoming it. By now we've journeyed through the hidden corners of this phantom phenomenon, peering into its many faces and exploring strategies to overcome it. We've learned to recognize imposter syndrome, not as a singular entity but as a chameleon, changing its form depending on the person and the situation. We've discovered its triggers, from high-pressure environments to unfamiliar tasks, and how these can fuel feelings of being an imposter. We've also delved into expert advice on managing imposter syndrome, from reframing negative thoughts to celebrating successes, big or small. Remember, the path to overcoming imposter syndrome isn't a straight line but a journey of self-discovery and growth. Remember, it's not about being free from self-doubt, but about not letting it hold you back. You are competent, you are capable, and you belong.